Guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest because today's guest is an expert in artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of the cutting edge technology that's coming. We're going to have a fantastic discussion. His name is Shakeel, based out of the UK, and he's got a fantastic story, experience, and background, and I'm happy to welcome him to the show. Welcome.
Great to be here, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Tell people about your background and your story and how you got started.
It's a bit of a strange story, Chris. I originally got into finance when I was a wee bit younger and worked in banking for many years and fell out of that. I realised it wasn't for me. Got involved in health and safety, and simultaneously I was working and learning about health and safety at the same time. Kind of diversified into health and safety. And then over the last few years, we have taken a more machine learning approach using data analytics to understand how productivity works and how businesses are losing lost time and how we can improve that.
Yeah, fascinating. And I'm really excited to talk about AI because with this whole ChatGPT, it's really exploded my business, and I've been working with this Opus Clip to viral video reels, and it's really it's almost like having 10 people working for you, but it's like for each thing it costs like fraction of a penny to do these things. So talk about this AI and the potential, what it's doing, the challenges, etc.
It's fantastic. It's such a great introduction to the world. However, at the same time, it does have some negative aspects to it. I think how you use it and how you perceive it can be either positive or negative. Especially now with the introduction of ChatGPT, we've been working on machine learning for like 18 months now. And at the first 12 months that we were doing it, nobody was interested. Nobody was really interested in what we actually did and understood it. And go back, I think maybe 9 months now, at the start of the year, ChatGPT comes in, explodes, and everybody's interested in artificial intelligence and trying to do things through machine learning. And it's been exciting for us. From a health and safety perspective, it's quite scary as well. A lot of businesses and individuals are looking at artificial intelligence as a way to replace humans. And that's not the kind of mindset that we want business owners or businesses to take. We want to look at the way that artificial intelligence is there, or machine learning is there to complement human skill and advance human skill rather than replace human skill. So we would look at it from a point of view where it was last resort to remove the people from doing the job. If it was maybe a safety or a health risk to them, then we would say, look, let's introduce artificial intelligence, rather than say, look, let's cut 50 jobs and put machines in there instead.
Yeah, which is interesting. You're actually kind of in the camp where we have to be mindful of the ramifications of AI, because a lot of people, previous year talking about the potential of AI and how much but you bring up a valid point, which is this idea of replacing workers, and kind of talk about this because the camp is usually, they're saying we have to learn how to use AI in conjunction with humans and not just cut 100 jobs altogether. So talk about that.
Yeah, I think with what we do, Chris, we do data analytics. So it's a kind of deeper level of learning and understanding what's going on in the business. So we're coming from the point of view, well, I'm a health and safety practitioner, first of all. So my ultimate job and my role is to protect human life first and safeguard them. So, I don't want them to be replaced by machines unless it's a necessity, unless, we're going to send them down some crazy dark tunnel or onto the Antarctic and we can send a machine instead, then it's totally different. But I come from the point of view that, we find what's going on in the business, what's going wrong with the business, and we then train individuals or to upskill them, to complement them so they've got more understanding of the role. Whereas, there's this mindset is that in certain individuals, not every individual, there's this mindset that, we don't need to do the job anymore because a machine can do it for us. That's not the case. We don't ever want to go down the route where machines are doing everything for us, because then we've got nothing to do. Well, we do have something to do, but we don't want to be in that situation. We want to be able to say, right, we've recognized that we can interact with the machines and artificial intelligence if we learn to upskill, learn new modules, new training, whatever the role takes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because kind of what's happening is that this whole work from home movement and this whole area where social media and internet has allowed people to become self-employed or create their own businesses, and now these corporations are kind of sitting on empty commercial real estate and struggling for workers. So that's the potential for software, AI, and robotics to come in and help boost up that area, kind of. And then also this idea of but then you also, for example, with autonomous vehicles, where vehicles are going to be able to drive on their own, you have thousands probably of truck drivers that will be out of a job right then and there. So kind of talk about how, like, areas where AI can help boost, and then and areas where we have to coexist, in some places where we don't have to replace jobs.
So taking it from a safety point of view, rewinding it just about what I said there, we would look at a deeper level on what's actually going on in the business and what risk the work activity would create for the individual. So if the individual was in a position where they could be hurt or they could be injured, and there was risk to life, then we would say, let's bring in artificial intelligence to do that. However, if it doesn't say that, if it was a case that the risk or the work activity, we could reduce the risk to the individual by upskilling them, giving them additional training, enhancing their performance in some way, making sure that they were actually fitter and more agile to do the task, then we would look at following down that route. It's a bit of a crazy time, because individual and businesses, there needs to be that bridge in businesses between artificial intelligence and human. There needs to be that bridge there, so that on one side the workforce is not disrupted by what's going on with machine learning and artificial intelligence. We don't want to disrupt an industry. We don't want to take away jobs from people. We want them to be in a situation where they don't feel threatened. And this is one of the things that data and machine learning can do to a business or an industry, is it could put them on the back foot, because data can expose people and jobs. So if maybe somebody's not performing the way that they should be, or the business is not performing as a whole, then understanding and viewing the data can disrupt that kind of culture in the business.
Yeah, I love that answer, because there's basically, you have to find out ways where you can kind of use it for good in some cases, as opposed to bad, which kind of brings us to these kind of the dangers of AI. This area of where we're moving from kinetic, or actually this area of AI and national defense and national security, where we're moving from kinetic warfare to more like information warfare and economic warfare. Kind of talk about, like, because you can imagine this moment where just the AI just goes rogue, or a rogue nation just kind of deploys this AI software and just shuts every it causes a lot of harm. So kind of talk about that from where you're looking at from like national defense and security and all of that.
Yeah, it's a data war out there. It is machine wars out there. It's who has the most data has the competitive advantage. What a machine is programmed to do is to understand the data that it's been given. Now, the disadvantage to that is that if the machine has not been given the full data, so the way that we operate is that if we take information from all different areas of the business, and maybe a HR department, a health and safety, an operations department, and one part of the business only gives us 50% of the data, and we put it into the machine, and 50% of that data is missing, the machine will still make a decision based on that data that has been given. Now, it might not be the decision that best suits a business, because there's missing information. So we have to be mindful of that. We're still at the stage where it's humans, we are programming the machines. But eventually, as the machine evolves and it's machines programming the machines, then it can be quite dangerous.
Yeah, especially when that is actually quite. And then I'm just imagining this moment where we have this catastrophic event with AI, similar to like a 9/11 or something, something big, and basically the government shuts it down, and can have all these rules and regulation. But what is interesting is what this you mentioned that it's happening so fast, and why is it happening so fast? And talk about this exponential curve that we're experiencing right now.
It is happening fast, but is it happening fast? Because if you look at one of probably the biggest AI tools out there, like Google, how long has it been around? How long has Facebook been along? How long has Instagram been around? These are advanced AI machines. They're picking up data and telling you what you want to look at, and reading what's going on. Then they're going on to market you. That's massive internet. We've been using it for a long time, but we've just not accepted that we're using it. We were still in the denial stage that we're actually using artificial intelligence on a day-to-day basis. Now we're in the acceptance stage that we are using it, and it could be used in our business to replace our jobs. And that's where the threat comes in, and that's where the pushback comes in. And that's where, as individuals or business owners, as I talked about just moments ago, it's disruptive to a business now because there's a real threat involved. And that's why there has to be certain ways that you maneuver when you implement an artificial intelligence program or a machine learning program. It's interesting because I'm a father of two, and I've got two kids, 6 and 3, and they're using these tools all the time, not even thinking about it. Even, for example, if you look at Netflix now, and Netflix, it's actually got that algorithm built in it that it's actually telling you what's suited to what you want to watch. So they're using that from a young age, but it's only when you pull back and actually realize what it's going, you're letting the machine guide you to what you want to watch or what you're interested in. So it's really fascinating when people say, "Oh, it's just coming in," but it's actually been here for a long time. We've just not noticed.
Yeah, and it's getting better and better. Just the recommendations, and and again, it's an early technology. One thing, kind of talk about is this. So I've been reading, like Google, Microsoft. I think the first, OpenAI, the ChatGPT was like the kind of the mass large language model, but Facebook and Google, Amazon, they're all developing their own large language models. Kind of talk about how that intersects with machine learning. What's that's going to mean? What do you see happening from there?
ChatGPT is an absolutely fantastic tool because you're asking it to do things for you, and then ChatGPT is, the more and more people put into it, the more and more data that they've got and the more information that they're doing. They're maybe extracting stuff from Google or they're extracting stuff from Amazon, and then they're putting that in, and then they're asking the machine to give them their point of view. The advantage that I see Facebook, Instagram, Microsoft, and all these businesses that they have historical data. So they have years and years of data on how individuals interact with their platform and what they're actually looking for. So they can actually create that algorithm, or they can track certain things down a lot quicker. Think about how many Facebook posts, blogs, groups that are actually available on Facebook just now, and what you could access if you were able to type it in like ChatGPT. Tell me all the stuff. Tell me all the groups that are artificial intelligence and machine learning, and it'll list etc. all the groups with specific parameters. I think that I don't know the kind of ins and outs how they're going to do it, but I think that the historical data will be the advantage that they have, because they can actually understand people's behaviors and patterns, and all the information is there. It's probably really frightening how much information Google Meta actually have. So it's probably actually really frightening.
like I said, it's like an early technology. Kind of the other question is, what are your thoughts on just kind of innovation? Should we basically, because I'll give you an example here in the States, with this with blockchain and Web3, and I hate using the word cryptocurrency. These terms, the government has really shut down and really kind of banned it. What are your thoughts on kind of the future of AI? Will they undergo the same regulation? Will they shut down and ban it? On the thoughts of innovation at the intersection of regulation.
If they wanted to regulate it, Chris, they would have regulated it already. That's the bottom line. It's like, if you want to regulate something and you see it as a danger, then you put the controls in ASAP. However, at some place, at some stage in this, people are benefiting from it, whether it's big corporations, individual shareholders, whatever it may be. So they're going to let the machine run. And you have to let it run because as well at the same time, because as we come into this 4IR, we have to kind of understand people's behaviors as well. And are they more acceptable to artificial intelligence? How much pushback is there going to be? Where's the pushback coming from? They don't want to, they've accepted that we're going into, and we're in 4IR and we're going into this industrial revolution of this tech age, etc. So they don't want to put too many controls on it to slow it down. If they have plans to implement it and utilize it as best as they can, they're going to let it run. But for me, from a personal point of view, I think that it's happening fast, and they need to really sit down and look at it and see what age groups are using it and how they should be using it, because you don't want to take away early human skill. Like, for example, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and they were talking about how they got AI to write certain words for them, spell certain things. And we don't want to take that. There should be an age limit on that. We want kids to be, this is my view. We want kids to have good writing skills, good reading skills, be articulate to a certain extent. As articulate as they can be, not to any extent, but as articulate as they can be, and read fluently. So they shouldn't be allowed to use certain tools from, maybe under a certain age. And, people probably disagree with that. They probably say that it can help them. I still think that, these are the oldest forms of learning, is listening and reading and writing and etc. So we have to be mindful of certain things. I think that, back to your question really before, is that at what level and who's using it?
Yeah, really fantastic discussion, and really important. I think AI is going to come to the forefront of a lot of discussions in the future. It was just like the internet and these FANG companies and social media. It's got its pluses and minuses. So we have to kind of, like I said, it's like a tool. So you can use a hammer for good or for bad. Different things. And how can people contact you, follow you, reach out to you, check out your work, etc.?
We're on LinkedIn. Our business website's on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on most of the socials, and they can contact us through that and view the work that we're doing, and reach out to us and ask us any questions. A lot of the questions that we do get asked is really how the workforce is going to react to the implementation of artificial intelligence. That's the kind of number one question that we get asked at the moment, and how do we navigate around that pushback?
Yeah, I love that, and really fantastic discussion. And Shakeel's got a really interesting slant compared to previous guests, and kind of really you have to watch AI, kind of use it mindfully, be aware. And all of his resources will be in the links and show notes. Check out his social media. And with that, thanks so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Really enjoyed it.